Alrighty, welcome back y'all to the live stream here on the channel. Glad to see everybody on in here today. We have a lot of people in here. We got Pez, Indiana, Jonathan, Caden, Marcus, as well as Brian, Lucky, and Z. Let's see, we also have Brooklyn here, Lucy. And if we go down a little bit further, we got Jim, Storm Chaser, Ponderosa, Girl Dev Becca. Glad to have you guys all in here for another live stream. And everyone else who may just be watching, not chatting, glad to have you here as well. Catman, Justin, Aaron, Kaylee. Glad to see you guys all in here. Chris, so a lot of people in here. Glad to have you guys in here for another stream on the channel. We're going to be talking about the potential for a widespread severe weather threat here. Probably going to be ending up towards the severe weather outbreak side of things. And tomorrow looks like the potential for a tornado outbreak. So multiple days, multiple hazards, whole lot of stuff to go over. So let's go ahead and switch to the proper scene, if I can find that is, which should be, we'll switch all over to the model runs right off the bat here. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at our severe weather days here. Matter of fact, I'll switch it back on over here. How about that? Push you right back on over to the normal screen here. I want to show you guys our outlooks, of course. Today, we're going to have that slight risk for severe weather. Not anything too special out there for today. We actually did get a 2% tornado risk out there, so that's interesting. 15% wind, 15 significant hail, so the main thing with this is the hail threat. And then, of course, tomorrow we've got that large enhanced risk. I told you guys it's probably going to be extended southward. It extended considerably far south, almost to Sweetwater. It's just to the north of Sweetwater, up towards the Hamlin area, so very close to where Marcus is. But yeah, it also extended up more to the northwest as well. That now includes up towards the Colby area in Kansas. So very large enhanced risk for severe weather for tomorrow. This is driven by a 10 hatched area for tornadoes. This was easy to predict. And hey, look at that. We got a 5 sig right there. Look at that. Look at that. We got a 5 sig. 5 sig tor threat there. That's just a little bit of an outline mistake from the SPC. It actually doesn't exist, but interesting. It's just a little bit of a somebody didn't line it up properly on AWIPs there. So yeah, there's our 10 significant chance for tornadoes there. But really, that drives part of our enhanced risk, but the whole enhanced risk is really driven by a 30 sig hail. Also that tornado risk as well, but mainly the hail risk is what we're really it's really going to be the biggest issue, followed by the tornado risk as well. And the wind risk, it's a 15%, so there's no concentrated areas of significant damaging winds if you're in that yellow area. We're looking at widespread 60-mile-an-hour winds to isolated 70-mile-an-hour winds being a possibility. That hail threat is the biggest. Again, we could see widespread 2-inch hail with some isolated 3, possibly even greater than 3-inch hail being a possibility out there in that red hatched area in western Oklahoma, in a good chunk of western Kansas. And if we go on over to day 3, you'll notice we actually do not have a enhanced risk for this. I would not be blown away to see them add a 10 hatched risk up here in Iowa, in Nebraska by any means. We'll see what the 00Z HRRR shows late tonight. But I would not be blown away to see an enhanced risk for tornadoes in Iowa, extreme eastern Nebraska for day 3, which is going to be Friday's risk for severe weather. Now, they already have a 15 significant chance for overall severe weather potential. This is mainly for the hail threat, most likely. And that goes all the way from just barely east of Fort Worth through Dallas up to the west of Little Rock, up through Kansas City, probably southwest of Des Moines, I believe. Oh, no, actually includes Des Moines, Iowa, back out towards Omaha, down towards Topeka, Tulsa, Oklahoma, back down towards Dallas. So quite large, 15% there. And then we get to the rough day. This is going to be a pretty bad day here. April 27th, and of course 2024, but I'm sure a lot of people recognize that date. And unfortunately, it does look like one of the biggest threats that we've seen so far this year. I say that like every week. Literally say it like every week. But this one could go day 3 moderate. I would not be blown away to see a day 3 level 4 out of 5 for severe weather with this. This one is going to have the highest potential, and it will probably be demolished by a bad storm mode, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. The closer we get, the more we'll know here. And the main reason for me saying that this is probably going to be the biggest risk we've seen is not just because it's April 27th, okay? No, it's for the sole reason of an area forecast discussion that calls for the potential of violent tornadoes for Saturday. The potential for violent tornadoes here. So strong to potentially violent tornadoes for day 4, which is Saturday, as well as 2, 3-inch hail. But definitely a ridiculously strong wording from the Wichita, Kansas AFD, which stands for Area Forecast Discussion there. And I mean, you can see this. I haven't read the whole thing here, but I have read, the main. I've skimmed through the main portion of it. Yeah, I mean, let's just skim through this. Storm should continue to generate. I'm just looking at all this really quick here. So yeah, main thing is really the potential for violent tornadoes. That's not something that we have seen on a day 4 outlook in I mean, ever since, I hate to say this one, but the last high risk. We haven't seen that wording since March 31st, 2023. So that's been over a year since we've seen that strong wording on a day 4 outlook. That is very, 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 very uncommon. That is very rare. I mean, that is just extremely rare to see a day 4 risk for severe weather calling for potential of violent tornadoes. So definitely not something you see every year. That is a very rare wording from the area forecast discussion, and we'll see if it transitions into the SPC as well. So a really high-end risk for significant severe weather could be on tap here for Saturday. We are talking about the potential for, once again, violent tornadoes being a possibility out in this enhanced risk area, and that will most likely extend eastward as well. The main reason for this, and I can only really show one model run that depicts this the best because the GFS is trash for handling these types of setups, is the never accurate model, which shows a fully uncapped environment of anywhere between 3,000 to 4,500 instability out there in portions of mainly centered over western Oklahoma and just to the west of Dallas, Fort Worth there. So very large, uncapped, extremely favorable environment for all hazards. And if we look at our lower level jet stream, you'll notice that, yeah, that's not going to be an issue as well. So we are looking at the potential for nocturnal violent tornadoes here for the day 4, which is Saturday. But again, that's just the potential. Fingers crossed it downtrends, because there's a good chance, okay? I mean, there is a really good chance that we go from violent tornadoes being a possibility to maybe an isolated strong tornado being a possibility. Regardless, it's going to have really good potential. It's going to have good potential here. It's just a matter of where storms fire here, and there is a very good chance, like I said, that this is going to be a nocturnal threat. We're probably going to see storms fire around the time frame of 6-7 o'clock Eastern time, so it's probably going to be late evening. They're going to fire up, intensify, and then probably start to be tornadic by the 8 p.m. time frame. So it's definitely going to be a big threat for severe weather for day 4, which again, it's very rare to see. Very rare to see any mentions of a violent tornado threat, or even a mention for strong tornadoes on a day 4 outlook for that matter. And I mean, it just looks like an over the top threat as of now. Again, there's a good chance it downtrends, because calling for the potential of violent tornadoes is very high up there. That is very high up there on the scale. So to be honest, there's really only one way, fingers crossed, that this can go, and that is hopefully a downtrend. That's what I'm really hoping for here. But here's their discussion. This is the official SPC outlook. So what we looked at before was the National Weather Services. That's the jurisdiction of the Wichita, Kansas National Weather Service. They're calling for the potential of strong to violent tornadoes in their forecast region. And this is the SPC, which, I mean, I haven't really read too much into this, to be honest. Like, being honest, I really have not read a lot of this, because I didn't see anything too useful. Of course we're gonna see. Oh, I've read this, but I just didn't see anything useful. I just realized I did read it. I read it like 5 times earlier today. Basically, it just talks about confidence is increasing in the potential for significant severe weather, where that 30% area has been added, where they're anticipating more storm development. You can see a more favorable environment. More storm development could occur inside that 30%. So therefore, they've issued that 30% chance for severe weather out there. And this is going to change. I would be blown away if this stays the same. So we'll probably see this orange area move up to the north and the east a little bit, probably get pushed down a little bit more south, and probably get pushed up a bit more to the northwest. And who knows, maybe we'll see that red Sharpie get introduced out there for Oklahoma and Kansas on the day 3 outlook. So definitely a very serious situation that could unfold for Saturday going into Sunday morning. So the only good news is the fact that it's on a weekend. That's the only good news I got for you, is the fact that this threat looks to be on a weekend, at least this particular high-end threat. So yeah, I mean, I did hear something was going on Saturday. I'm not sure exactly what's happening Saturday, but I heard something was. So hopefully, whatever that event is, it doesn't interfere with severe weather time frames. I think it's something to do with like football or something. I'm not too sure. But yeah, anyways, that's a little bit off topic there, huh? So there's millions of people inside this risk for severe weather. I mean, in just today's risk, we have nearly 5 million people, actually over 5 million people inside that severe risk. And then for tomorrow's risk, we've got like an additional near 16, 17 million. And then for day 3, which is Friday, we have an additional near 30 million, or rather, nearly an additional 40 million inside that risk for severe weather. Day 4, which is Saturday, we have another near additional 23 million inside that risk. Day 5, we have another 23 million inside that risk. So I mean, there's just Overall, there's over 100 million people at risk for severe weather over these next few days. In day 6, we did not see an introduction to a 15% chance just yet for portions of Louisiana and Arkansas. But if we read this, you can see they say some severe threat could linger into Monday across the Arklatex region and the lower Mississippi Valley as lower level moisture transport persists near the remnant frontal zone. However, in the wake of departing upper level trough, convection may tend to be less organized compared to previous days. So that's why they have not highlighted any areas for severe weather just yet on that particular outlook, which is day 5. So yeah. All right, let's go over here real quick. So make sure you guys have hit that like button. That like button, by the way, it's greatly appreciated. Actually, about half of y'all already have, so that's fantastic. Already, you guys have hit that like button on the way in here, so that is greatly appreciated. And yeah, make sure you guys share the stream with your family, friends, social media as well to help spread the word about this severe threat. I want to show you guys the NAM model here. Unfortunately, it's the only model run we have, but I do want to show y'all. So remember Friday, I should say really yesterday, remember I was talking about Friday, Iowa, Nebraska, and even, earlier in this stream, I said I wouldn't be shocked to see an enhanced risk get added. And you can see, look at this, the NAM 3K actually does show a line of most likely tornadic supercells transitioning into a linear mode for severe weather. So most likely in all hazards that will be a possibility out there towards portions of western and southwestern Iowa into southeastern Nebraska, maybe even a bit into portions of central Iowa as well. So quite a large area for severe weather there in terms of just the overall region impacted. I mean, all the way from southeastern Nebraska out towards central Iowa. So that's quite a long stretch of potential severe weather activity. Now, further south, you'll notice not a lot happens. Not a lot happens. So we've got that very large slight risk for severe weather out, generally in that area. Trust me, that is nowhere near correct. I'll show you guys that above my face cam right now. So here's that area for severe weather that is outlined. It's going to be the day 3 outlook. So yeah, they have that up from southeastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, down towards Texas. You can see that slight risk yellow area for severe weather. And not a whole lot happens inside like all of that slight risk, with the exception of really the northern edge. So honestly, that's like the only area I see the main severe threat being, but all it takes is a little bit stronger of a forcing mechanism. That low pressure is a little bit, moves a little bit quicker, and then all of a sudden you're going to have storms firing along the entirety of that dry line Friday night. So we are going to be watching out. That low pressure is going to be up here. And then that dry line cold front's going to extend all the way down south, down towards Texas as well. And that's going to be a very large area for severe weather being a possibility. And that's another thing I want to point out, by the way. We have 100 million inside this risk for severe weather, but most of those people inside the risk won't see severe weather. So a lot of y'all inside this risk area tomorrow's not going to see severe weather, but a lot of people will. So not everyone's going to see severe weather for tomorrow. Same goes for the other days as well. These risk areas are so large that we may see a storm that fires here, moves up to the northeast, towards like Kansas City, produces a bit of hail, and then further south, nothing fires, and then boom, nobody sees severe weather down here. And then we may have that cold core setup that happens up here towards Iowa and Nebraska that produces, whatever severe weather it may produce. And then all of a sudden you guys have seen, a ridiculous severe threat. Everyone out here has seen a tiny little hail threat and no one down here has seen anything. So nobody saw anything further south. So it just depends on how the storms interact with the environment, and also the other way around, how the, really, we'll just see. We'll just see. The point being is not everybody inside this risk will see severe weather. Some of you guys will see severe weathers. Other people will see significant severe weather. And some people will just see light rainfall. So just because you're in a highlighted area doesn't mean you're going to see, significant tornadoes or anything like that. But But, if you are in a highlighted area, you do want to be prepared for that threat for severe weather, whatever it's saying. So for tomorrow, the threat is, unfortunately, if you're inside that enhanced risk, significant tornadoes and very large hail, being a possibility of around 3 inch in diameter. So you do want to be ready for a worst case scenario of a significant tornado. So make sure that you have a preparedness plan ready to go. You make sure you know where your safe spot is. Make sure you can get into your safe spot within seconds of a tornado warning being issued if you are under one. So that way you're just ready, be ready for the worst, but hope for the best. And like I said, a lot of you guys, a lot of y'all aren't going to see that significant tornado threat tomorrow, but it's all about preparing for it just in case that potential actually happens. Because like I said, every 25 miles, so, for instance, if we just choose Dodge City, within this blue radius, there is a 10% chance of a significant tornado. That is a 90% chance that no one, that not even a single person, sees a significant tornado in here. So that is a really good chance that you don't see a significant tornado, but unfortunately, there is that 10% chance that you do see a significant tornado, which is higher than normal. So you definitely want to be hyper weather aware out there. If you're inside any of the risk areas here, like I've shown before, I'll show it again because I know a lot of people are tuning into the stream and then just wondering what threats we're talking about here. So again, this is for tomorrow. We've got that tornado threat, which again, you got that 2% tornado risk, 5%, and then your big 10 hatched area. Big difference between these risks. This is a 2% chance for tornadoes every 25 miles of a given point. That's not that high, but you still want to be weather aware. 5% chance every 25 miles of a given point. That is a little bit on the elevated side of the risk. And then this is the big risk here. That is a 10% chance of a significant tornado every 25 miles of a given point. So basically what that means is if we do see a tornado touch down out here, there is a good chance that it's going to be significant. Whereas further to the south, we might not have as strong of a lower level jet in place, so therefore they haven't introduced that 10 sig further south just yet. Like I said, if you're out there just towards like the for instance, the Hamlin area up towards like Paducah, you guys aren't inside that 10 significant risk for tornadoes. The reason why you're in an enhanced tomorrow is because of hail, the potential for 3-inch hail out here. So yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. And then of course, as we go into Friday, like I said, I think we'll have more of the northern risk is probably going to be where we're more concentrated on. So all the way from just probably west of Omaha, southwest of Sioux City, out towards Des Moines, Iowa. I think that's going to be where we have a better shot at severe weather. And then further south, to be honest, this is like the only area that I really see severe weather right now for Friday. Everything south, everything south of here is just a question mark for me. I really do not know any idea. I don't even have a single idea, any clue on what's going to happen on that southern portion of the risk area. So we'll just have to wait until more model runs render in and we get a better idea here. And then we go on into Saturday here. This should be our biggest day for severe weather with area forecast discussions from the Wichita National Weather Service already calling for the potential of a significant to violent tornado threat being a possibility out here. So if you live in or around the risk area here, so if you live anywhere in or around that 15% area for severe weather, which does stretch all the way up towards Wisconsin, the reason for that is because of a decaying trough. So we'll have our primary negatively tilted trough here, which could cause that violent tornado potential out here. Fingers crossed nothing happens, but we'll watch it. We'll be live for multiple hours on these days for sure. And then we're going to have a more weak, negatively tilted trough that traverses up here. It's going to be a whole lot weaker, but that could still cause some leftover severe weather for this region here, which is best depicted by the GFS model run, at least right now. You'll see here, we have one trough. This is the remnants of our severe threat on Friday, Thursday, Friday. You can see that moves off to the northeast. That's why we have that 15% out for, portions of Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois, and even northern Missouri for Saturday morning. And then we get that primary trough, which is the main reason for our 15% and specifically our 30% chance for severe weather out towards Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas for Saturday night. And once again, I mean, you're looking at an uncapped environment, so definitely a big threat for severe weather, and definitely significant severe weather threat is a possibility. We still have to work out mesoscale features. Basically, what that is just very micro scale. Think of it more like micro scale. So, when's the trough progressing? How fast is the trough moving at this particular moment? How strong is that lower level jet actually going to be? So more of micro scale features here, and the number one micro scale feature that I always see is short waves. So do we have any short waves set up? That's always one of the more micro features that I've seen, which you can see here. There's already a little shortwave there. You see these little kinks. Those are little short waves embedded inside the more stronger and elongated area of the trough ejection. So that's actually what caused our significant tornado outbreak on Gracious. Was it March 14th? I don't know if it was that day, but it was the one up in Ohio. There was a shortwave trough that was barely noticeable, and that increased the severe potential. It helped fire storms, and then it was already a good environment, so we ended up seeing that multiple significant tornadoes on that day in Ohio. So, micro scale features are definitely something that's extremely difficult to predict, but they can change the entirety of the forecast. They mentioned a weak cap on the day four outlook. Yeah, I mean, there is definitely going to be a weak cap for the afternoon hours. But once again, it's going to be a question of if storms fire in that weak capped environment, or if storms are going to fire a little bit later down the line where that environment might be capped out. So the NAM model shows a worst case scenario here. We are freaking 2 a.m. in the morning on the East Coast, and we still have a fully uncapped environment in the majority of our enhanced risk, and actually pretty much all of our enhanced risk area for what is this day? Saturday. Thank you for subscribing, Mac. Much appreciated. And the GFS model, completely different. Completely different. And the European model, well, we can't really look at the capping for the European model, but I mean, it still shows, you know, a cape in place, but not nearly like what the NAM has. And then this doesn't go out far enough, so this would be for Friday. Obviously, not Saturday, so we can't look out far enough for that one. But just comparing, say, the instance for the WRAP model with the NAM model, you can see the NAM actually has it further to the south. So that's a massive key factor right there. The WRAP model has your low pressure out towards like central Nebraska, whereas the NAM model here has it towards actually more of the same area. It actually has it more of the same area. It's just the instability is considerably more north. Interesting. I wonder why the rat model depicts that. Let's see here. I want to see this again. Man, College of DuPage has been glitching out today, y'all. It has been glitching out. So there's the rat model once again. I mean, you could see that low pressure in southwestern Nebraska. And then the NAM model has it in the same area, but it's just not as significant of moisture return, most likely, as well as that instability. Yeah, so the RAP has it being probably more of a widespread severe threat for like South Dakota, Nebraska. Interesting on why the NAM model doesn't depict that as well. So a little bit of model uncertainty for that one, at least in regards to how significant that return will be. But regardless, it looks like our low pressure is going to be forming most likely out towards south central Colorado, moving up towards southwestern Nebraska, and then getting towards southeastern South Dakota, northeastern Nebraska by the time we go into Friday afternoon. And that should progress off to the northeastward by the time we go into Saturday. That should be all the way up there into south central Minnesota. And then Sunday, that's up in Ontario and is no longer a severe weather maker. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Biggest day still looks like Saturday. Friday, I think Friday's going to be more of that severe potential in Iowa. I mean, you can see it here. You have this triple point that is set up. You've got a cold front, warm front, dry line. So right out in that little area. I don't know if it would be here or like right there, or if it's going to be further back. What time is this? Okay, so this would be 000 on Saturday. So that's severe threat on Saturday? Okay. Hold on, let me work out what day we're on here. Okay, so yeah, so this is Friday. This is what I wanted to show. So this is where your storms would be. They'd be right in between that dry line, warm front, moving up to the northeast. And then they'd probably, I mean, they probably wouldn't be anything too special at this given moment here. But as you go towards like the 4, 5 p.m. time frame, once that warm front moves out towards more of this area, that dry line moves out towards more like this, that would allow for a bit of a better warm sector and for a bit of a better environment for storms to fire right in that small area and then track up to the northeast. And this would most likely be a bit more to the north. I drew this a little bit too far to the south. Your dry line would probably be more of over here, and then your warm front more of out here. And you'd have your low pressure and you'd have your cold front. So something like that. It would be more north there. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. And then if we go and look at Friday, so we'll see. So this is going to be for Thursday night into Friday morning. And you can see that we have that low pressure again, and like I said, firing near south central Colorado. This is actually eastern Colorado here. You've got your warm front out here, a dry line, and it's really going to be, that was way too crooked there. It's really going to come down to if storms fire off that dry line or not. That capping might inhibit that. So although we have really good ingredients in place, it might be too late. So this is actually going to be for this particular frame, according to the Weather Prediction Center here. This would be for 7 p.m. Central Time, and most of the time we don't actually have a capping in place at this particular moment. You know, normally at 7 p.m. that's when our capping begins to build, and typically it really starts to build at 9 o'clock. That's why your severe threat typically deteriorates, 8 p.m. and on, Eastern time at least. So yeah, we'll see. But typically after 00Z, you see that capping build in. So if it was, if storms were firing at this moment, we would probably have an uncapped environment right out in front of this. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. So we'll keep an eye on it. And again, it's just going to come down to that capping. It's going to come down to that capping. Let's see. No, I don't think I'd be surprised if Indiana even ends up in a slight risk. You might end up in a marginal risk, but even that is pushing it for, if any day, Saturday morning. But honestly, you should be pretty good to go, to be honest. Like, I really don't see any potential out there. Not that far east. That's too far east. Let's see here. Especially Saturday. So Saturday, we don't have any like really good model runs for Saturday at all. Friday, it still looks very iffy, but most likely we'd see storms fire just off to your west around the time frame of 7 o'clock your time here, 6, 7 o'clock to the west of you. The hazards are also unclear. I would say probably mainly wind and hail. I'm not sure about that tornado threat for your region. We'll just have to wait until we get better model data, which hopefully we'll have that tomorrow. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But Saturday, I think it will be off to your southwest, really. You're probably looking at more of Saturday morning. That's probably why they have that 15% chance for severe weather out for your area, is probably for Saturday morning. So you're looking at Friday, late Friday evening into Saturday morning. That's what you're looking at. And that should be your main threat. But Sunday might have some potential as well. Let me go look at Sunday. Yeah, Sunday's going to have probably some better potential for you as well. So, I mean, you have 3 days of possible severe weather. Saturday, I think that's a little bit off to your northwest, if I'm not mistaken. But just really all of them we're going to have to just keep an eye on. Any of these days could do anything, so we're probably going to have a few days that underperform, and you never know, we could have that one day that overperforms, so we'll just have to watch them all very, very closely and just be hyper weather aware. Just be hyper weather aware. If you're in any of the risk regions, Saturday is going to be the day to watch very carefully. Yeah, I think tomorrow and Saturday are going to be the main days to watch. Those are going to be the main days. Let's see here. You're welcome, Lucy. Thanks for tuning in. My area for Saturday? That's very iffy. Like I said, the model runs have been all over the place recently, which is why I haven't really been saying much about specific areas. You're in the risk for severe weather, so that should be enough to be hyper weather aware. That's enough of a reason to be hyper weather aware. Oh, my bad. I didn't know you were God. How close are we? My apologies. I didn't know you know what the future's gonna be. Let's see. Go up here a little bit more. The CSU is very scary. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to that thing. It changes too frequently. Way too frequently. How far northeast Oklahoma looking during these threats? I mean, northeast Oklahoma is in like a lot of these days, right? Let me just go ahead and check real quick. So, I mean, you're in tomorrow's threat a little bit. You're in Friday's threat a bit, as well as Saturday and Sunday. So you're in like all the threats. You are in like all the threats. The biggest day is probably going to end up being, it depends on Friday where storms fire, but it's probably going to be Saturday. Saturday is probably going to be the biggest threat for you. That's going to be the biggest day. And most likely it's going to end up being an all hazards threat. So this is Friday here. Saturday, you're inside that 15% as well. But it depends on how far northeast you are. You know, if you're northeast of Tulsa, you're probably in that slight risk, maybe inside the enhanced risk. But there's a lot of days. There's a lot of days and a lot of uncertainty. So I don't want to tell you information that's just going to be completely dead wrong. Which is why I can't really say much about the other days. Right now, Saturday just seems like the biggest threat for that area, according to the SPC and forecast discussions. But according to model runs, I mean, no day looks big for that area, but, you know, models are wrong so frequently. Let's see, what does the GFS have to say here? I mean, the GFS even picks up on, yeah, Saturday night. So, yeah, Saturday's probably going to be the biggest day for you. Saturday looks big all the way from west central Kansas down towards near Fort Worth, back up towards near Kansas City. With probably the biggest threat being on the western side of the enhanced risk, to be honest. I think this is going to be where the best shot for severe weather will be from what I'm seeing right now. So we'll probably see storms fire in that general area, move off to the northeast. And it just depends. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainties. So that's why I'm not trying, you know, I don't want to make any ridiculous call outs for any towns here. 2024 has just been the year of uncertainty. That's going to be the label of this year. So far, at least. We'll see what the rest of the year has to hold, but it ain't too promising. Even the day of severe threats, we're like, yep, we have no idea what's going to happen today. Let's see. Saturday is looking the most concerning to me. Not only will the conditions look good for a lot of storms popping off. Yeah. I mean, Saturday does look... it looks really good on some models, but then other models, it looks trash. So, I don't know. I do not know just yet. Some models have it completely mistimed with the best shot for severe weather, so We'll see. It could be another swing and a miss. What do you think's the best day for active weather in Kansas City? It's a good question. Honestly, I am not 100% sure. Probably not tomorrow, so you're probably looking at Friday. Friday's probably going to be the biggest day. Friday night into Saturday morning. Did I say that right? Let me see here. Yes, Friday into Saturday morning. Yep. Want to make sure I said the right days. And as for the biggest hazard, it's probably going to be wind. Probably going to be wind, to be honest. I really don't think we're going to see, like, we'll definitely have tornado potential. I'd be blown away if you don't get inside at least some shot for a tornado. But the highest tornado probabilities will probably end up being to the southwest of Kansas City, out in this general area. I don't want to do that because the CSU is just too inaccurate. And like I said, I don't like to show two different outlooks because then it confuses people. We'll show it occasionally, but I mean, I don't really like to show it at all. Let's see here. So we'll just continue to watch this threat here. There's so much model discrepancy. I want to look at that AFD again. Catman, did you see that area forecast discussion? Were you here when I mentioned it? I mean, no doubt Saturday's the biggest day. A Thursday, or I should really say tomorrow and Saturday don't even compare anymore. It doesn't even compare. Let's see. Yeah, significant severe weather. Potentially significant severe weather anticipated on Saturday. Let's see. Flooding threat. I want to see if they say anything about, let's see, Ampleson. It could be tough to initiate with a surface-based storm across the CWA. However, any surface-based storm mode will be capable of all hazards. Outflow scenario is the most likely to play out. Interesting. If you didn't see it, there you go. Significant hazards from strong to potentially violent tornadoes for Saturday. So, if you don't know, that is moderate wording right there. That is moderate risk wording. Worthy wording. So we'll see if the SPC upgrades to moderate for day 3, which will be Saturday. I don't know. But I would not be shocked to wake up to a 45-6 severe tomorrow for Saturday. The NAM has a good hold on this right now, Pez, honestly. I trust the NAM over the GFS for once. I feel like it has a better hold on the warm sector and the available potential for Saturday. Let's see. It just depends on where that low tracks. That's going to be really two main factors here is morning convection, because I saw some cam models showing morning convection, so we'll see. The morning convection could easily destroy the instability. So the NAM has the low pressure focused, I think, over central Nebraska, is it? Let me see. Yeah, so it has one focused over central Nebraska. The GFS also has it. Where does the GFS have it? Okay, over central Nebraska as well. But something's got to be off on why these model runs depict such different scenarios. Probably because one's the NAM model, if I had to guess. It's all going to be about how much this trough can really dig into the ingredients. Let's see what the GFS shows. I mean, really, they show like near the exact same trough, maybe a little bit stronger on the GFS, but I mean, it really looks like near the same to me, at least. What about the European? What in the world is the Euro doing? And the European doesn't look that bad either. We'll see. We'll see. It's just gonna be a big waiting game here. That's how it has been with weather. That's how it's always been with weather. But it definitely looks like some big potential. I want to look at the GEFS real quick. And I want to look at that for Saturday. Okay. We'll see what happens. Saturday is still going to be up in the air, but I would not be blown away to see a moderate at all. But we'll just watch it. Like I said, we'll be doing daily streams here, so you know, whatever we end up seeing, we'll be live for it. We'll be live for it. Let's see. Timing on those live streams, by the way, is definitely going to vary. Tomorrow is a severe day. Tomorrow's a severe day, so that is going to be up in the air for the time frame of the live stream. Most likely, I'm going to be looking at right around, let's see, probably right around 4. Probably looking at 4 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern. So we'll see. There we go. I think Sunday could go 10% for tornadoes. I don't know. I don't know. It's too far out. Let's see. Okay, so this is about tomorrow's threat. There's some uncertainty in tomorrow's afternoon activity for severe weather. This is Kansas here, of course. A line of storms or an MCS may develop toward morning. What? tomorrow morning? Where? Where do they see a line tomorrow morning? Oh. What do you know? Huh. What do you know? Looks like more of a cluster. Look at that. More of a cluster tomorrow. I wouldn't per se call that a line. It's not really a line in my books. The NAM doesn't even have anything on that, though. I mean, the NAM just shows it as rain showers. A-R goes full ham on it. Interesting. So we could have some isolated large hail and damaging winds out in this general area. What is this? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow morning. So we'll see. Why is my area in the significant risk for Friday? Probably for hail. It's probably for hail. College of DuPage has been all over the place for me today, Catman. I mean, it has been all over the place. It's not been working the best at all. So there's tomorrow's risk that we'll be covering. Quite a quite low, quite a lower amount of people inside that enhanced. I've seen much smaller enhanced risks with way larger populations. So that's still just under 500,000 people inside that enhanced risk for severe weather. So hopefully all of y'all are hyper weather aware out there. I mean, there's a lot of people that are at risk for significant severe weather tomorrow. That's easily displayed by the hail outlook. You can see that hatched area. Clear as day. So, we'll see. Tomorrow, it's all going to come down to the capping. That's what tomorrow's going to come down to. So, We'll just see. It looks similar to the April, what was it, April 10th threat. I don't know. Let me go look at the date. Let's go back here and look at our previous severe risk. Oh, wow, I was pretty far off. April 15th. April 15th. That was pretty far off. Yeah, it looks similar to April 15th where we had that significant risk for tornadoes in place over Kansas and Oklahoma. That did not play out at all, where the capping stayed in place and we saw minimal severe activity until the extreme nocturnal hours at pretty much 5 a.m. It was like 5 a.m. 6 a.m. when things started to kick off, which is nearly the next day, at least in the SPC's terms. So we'll keep an eye on it. So yeah, there's your tornado risk as well. Like I said, we have that large 10 significant chance for tornadoes. So what we're looking for is storms to fire off in and around that 15, or rather in and around that 10% hatched area. Move off to the northeast and potentially produce strong tornadoes. We'll see. We'll see. I'm very much questioning what might fire tomorrow. I've seen some models that portray doomsday and other models that show nothing happening. So I really think tomorrow's going to be a 50-50 risk. I really think tomorrow's going to be a 50-50 risk. If we see storms fire, that tornado threat's going to go through the roof. And we're going to have a decent chance for tornadoes. But if we don't see storms fire, then tomorrow's probably going to be mainly a hail risk further down south of that 10%. Or 10 hatched, I should say. I mean, you want to always be weather aware, girl dev, but you're not in the main risk for severe weather, so you don't have to be hyper weather aware, but you always want to be weather aware just in case. You always want to make sure that you can receive warnings, even if you're not even in a risk area. I've seen plenty of severes outside of general thunderstorm risks, so you want to be weather aware, even if you're not in a risk area, because it's just a good idea to be weather aware 24/7. It's just a good idea. It's not going to hurt. Which, best way to do that is to have a weather radio. And if you want, you could subscribe to the channel with that notification bell set to all, because we'll be going live for these threats as well. Just make sure that you guys have shared this information with your family and friends. You don't have to share the channel with them. It's greatly appreciated if you do, but if you don't, at least tell them the severe threat, what the severe threat is for their location, which I'll show you all the outlooks. We have so many outlooks, so, right here for this particular day, which is tomorrow, it looks like, Missouri's not going to get anything, and even eastern Oklahoma and Illinois, it looks like this whole area is going to be safe from severe weather. Then you go into the day 3 outlook, and boom, what do you know? Massive slight risk on the next day. And then you think, oh, okay, well, that's probably it. Oh, nope. Now you got a day 4 slight risk all the way up to friggin' Michigan. Friggin' Michigan up there. All the way back down towards Killeen, Texas. And again, you may be thinking, oh, yeah, this is the last day, right? Nope. We got a day 5 risk out for Louisiana, Arkansas, back up towards Wisconsin, down towards Texas. So just multiple days of severe weather potential for, over 100 million people. Most of that is overlapping the same areas, though. So, we just have so many significant risks here. This is already a significant risk. The only risk right now that isn't significant is the day 5 risk, which is Sunday. There's no significant risk for that. Day 4, we have an enhanced, which is significant. Day 3, we already have a significant outline. Tomorrow, we have a enhanced that is, guess what? Significant for hail and tornadoes. And then even today is considered a significant severe day, as we have a 15 hatched area for hail. So, we're already kicking off the severe potential today, but today should not be an outbreak of any sorts. If we take a look at our latest model run, we'll probably see a few isolated storms fire off here. Hold on a second. Okay, the HRRR no longer initiates any thunderstorms. When did the HRRR show nothing happening? Did 18Z show something? So let me just show you guys what we might see here. Yeah, so this is what we could see. So we could see a storm fire off here at about 9:30, 10 o'clock Eastern. And that's going to be, if it does form, mainly a hail potential, damaging wind potential, and a brief tornado. Can't be fully tossed in the trash can just yet. So I wouldn't rule out a brief isolated tornado with this threat. If storms do fire, which if they do fire, it should be before 10 o'clock. If we don't have storms ongoing by 10 o'clock Eastern, we might not see anything inside that slight risk today, kind of like what we saw yesterday. We had that one storm that was considerable for about 45, 50 minutes. I forgot exactly how long it was considerable for. And then after we ended the live stream, it just continued to die right off. And then it was a rain shower within an hour of ending our stream yesterday. So yeah, we'll just see. And then, of course, we have our supercells that might fire tomorrow. Now, the 18ZH depicts a very dangerous threat for tomorrow, to be honest. It does depict one of the most worst case scenarios for tomorrow, which is multiple supercells firing along the dry line out here. Classic twister action out here, just like in the movie. Storms firing up the dry line here. And each one of these will have the potential, if they do fire, for significant tornadic activity, as well as significant hail, and even the potential for isolated significant damaging winds, significant hail near 3-inch in diameter, possibly a couple tornadoes, some of which may be strong, and even the potential for near 70-mile-an-hour winds. So could be quite the doozy. And I do want to point this out as well. They changed the wording. So yesterday we were talking about a few tornadoes being possible with maybe a strong tornado. Today, now that we have the new outlook, this is for tomorrow, of course, they've changed that wording up. Very large hail, severe wind gust, and a couple strong tornadoes will be possible. So typically on 10 significant days, the typical wording you see is a few tornadoes possible, with 1 or 2 strong tornadoes being a possibility as well. So, you'll see on the watch, typically you'll see a few tornadoes likely with 1 or 2 strong tornadoes possible. But this says a couple strong tornadoes possible. So that's different. That is different. Basically, a couple strong tornadoes mean 2 or more tornadoes. And then if you see a strong tornado possible, that means 1 strong tornado will be a possibility. So we'll see. We'll see. I've heard that they might be talking about adding a moderate for tomorrow. There is the possibility we see a 15 sig tornado risk get added on the western extent of this 10 sig. I would not be blown away if this 10 sig gets pushed to the northeast, and we might see a 15 sig moderate risk get added right where those storms fire off the dry line, push into that very favorable environment, and then start to die off as the capping builds in. I would not be all that surprised if we do see a 15 sig. Personally, I think the confidence is all over the place, so I'm not expecting a moderate, but I would not be shocked to see them upgrade that to a 4 out of 5 for tornadoes. And then here's our evening threat. We're expecting supercells to fire off at about 10, 11 p.m. Eastern out here west of Snyder, Texas, move up to the northeast. Those are probably going to have your best shot at 3-inch hail. Well, for one reason, it's Texas, but also because it's that nocturnal potential. So that's probably going to have your best potential for 3-inch hail, 70-mile-an-hour winds, whereas the northern storms are definitely by milestone, if they do fire, are going to have your best tornado potential. So further south, you're looking at probably right off the bat, you're looking at a weak tornado threat, 1 or 2 weak tornadoes being possible, very large hail near 3-inch in diameter, and then possibility of 70-mile-an-hour winds. And then as you transition into the 1 a.m. time frame, more of damaging winds near 60, small hail, maybe a brief tornado threat as that continues overnight. I can't English. I love not being able to English. It's great. So we'll just see what happens. But like I said, regardless, we're going to be live tomorrow. I'm planning on starting the stream up at about 4 o'clock. We'll probably be live depending on how long this thread is. It could be anywhere from 4 o'clock all the way to 11 p.m. So we could have as long as a 7-hour stream tomorrow being a possibility on the channel. So we'll see. We stream as long as it's needed. So we've gone anywhere between 2 hours on coverage days to 11 and a half hours of live coverage. So it just depends on how much it is needed for tomorrow. Then as we go into whatchamacallit, Friday here, we'll probably see storms start to fire right out in front of that surface low, out towards central Nebraska, eastern Nebraska, by the time frame of 4 p.m. Eastern. Those will most likely carry an all hazards threat as they move towards Des Moines, Iowa, Sioux City as well. So we'll see for Friday's threat. And then further down south on Friday's threat, if we switch the outlook here, this is Friday's threat for severe weather. Again, anything south of like this area here, I just do not know what's going to happen. I almost drew a 3. I don't know what's going to happen down here at all. Up north, like I said, we'll probably see storms fire off that dry line, push to the northeast with an all hazards threat. Wouldn't be shocked to see them add a day 2, 10 sig for that. But further south, I'm just lost on what's going to happen down there. That slight risk is more of a precautionary measure because we'll have ingredients favorable for severe weather down there. It's just a matter of if storms fire and take advantage of that favorable environment. So we'll see. Let's see here. So just make sure y'all are hyper weather aware. If you're in any of the risks regions, the marginal, slight risk, or enhanced, that's the dark green, the yellow, and the orange. Those are where our main severe storms are anticipated. And again, we'll go through it today, tomorrow, Friday. We'll also have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We could end up seeing a risk for severe weather out here. If we manage to see storms fire, that might pose an isolated wind threat, hail threat, and maybe even a brief tornado threat. But regardless, the tornado threat's going to be very low for Monday because our trough's going to be moving up here. So we're going to have little to no jet stream, which is why the SPC didn't highlight an area, because they don't know if storms are going to fire. Without a jet stream and a solid forcing mechanism, there's a good chance you're not going to see storms fire. So, yeah, we'll watch it. We'll watch it. Would not be surprised if we get like a day 3 marginal by the time that rolls around. But I don't think Monday's going to be anything over the top at all. Let's see here. It looks like a really good setup. Like, all of these days look like really good setups. It's just no storms fire. That's easiest way to put it. It just seems like no storms fire. But we'll see. It literally just seems like we have such a good environment for severe weather, and then just storms do not fire. But like I said, y'all, we'll be live for these severe threats, so just make sure y'all are subscribed to the channel with that notification bell set to all. Because if you hit that notification bell and set it to all, YouTube will let you know when I go live, which is really good for days that we're unsure on when we'll be live. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be live anywhere between the time frame of for probably 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. We'll be live somewhere in between that. The most likely time for a stream is about 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see. With these severe weather days, typically we just wing it. We just wing it. Another thing that typically isn't talked about too much in the weather community with these storm systems is the fire threat. And we've got a fire threat. We definitely have a fire threat. So we can overlap this with our severe threat as well. So you can see your fire threat actually overlaps just the tiniest bit with your enhanced risk. So there's your fire threat inside that red and that orange area. That's a level 1 and a level 2 out of 3 for wildfire potential. So make sure if you guys do live in those areas, make sure you're not burning absolutely anything tomorrow at any time frame. I believe we already have red flag warnings that have been issued by the National Weather Service. I'll quickly go check on those here. So yeah, there's your red flag warnings if they want to pop up, and they're not gonna They're not gonna. Sometimes Radar Omega does not want to listen to me, but we do have them in effect out there towards, we'll show you this. There you go. That pink is your red flag warnings that are in effect. So we're dealing with the potential of fires out here and freezing weather up here. And then tomorrow we're going to be looking at severe weather out here. And then snowfall up here. I mean, we have like everything. We have like everything. We have freezing weather. We have fires. We have snowstorms. We have tornadic activity being a possibility. Large hail, damaging winds, flooding. Ooh, speaking of flooding, actually, that is a threat. Tomorrow's risk, we have a level 2 out of 4 for flooding out here. Level 1 and a level 2. That's a marginal risk and a slight risk for flash flooding. And then as we go into Friday, a little bit of a bimodal flood threat here. Man, look at that. Look at that low pressure. Look at that. You can literally see the cyclonic shape to the low pressure just off of their outlook. That is crazy. That is crazy. Then, yeah, you know, we got that slight risk here and a slight risk here. So you got the level 1 and then the level 2 and level 2. Are those 2s or Zs? It literally drew a Z for a 2. Then we move on into Saturday. And we've got this broad 1 and level 2 threat for flash flooding. And then Sunday, we get another flash flooding threat here. Level 1 and a level 2. So just make sure you guys are also weather aware in that side of things as well. Make sure you know if you're in a flood prone area, make sure you know where to seek higher ground to, and make sure you can get there, preferably within seconds of a flash flood warning being issued. Typically when a flash flood warning is issued, flooding is already ongoing. Have I ever heard of what now, Pez? I can't pronounce that word. So, yeah, we'll just keep an eye on this threat, yo. Like I said, we'll just wing it for the stream times. Saturday looks like pretty good flood potential, actually. Saturday night. Looks like we could have widespread 2 to 3 inch rainfall, all the way from Wisconsin down through just north of Dallas. So we'll keep an eye on it for sure. I mean, I could just go to the NOAA dictionary here. Let's see. See what this is. So it's calculated from the linear least squared method, which is commonly known as the LLSD, by Smith and Elmore in 2004, on radio velocity data for individual radar beams, and then also multi-radar, which is MRMS. You've heard that consistently throughout all of our coverages here. To create the products of raw velocity data. Huh. Wow. That's pretty cool. Look at this. So there you go. This is from NOAA, of course. So you've got your normal velocity, and then you have your let's see, azimuthial shear. Azimuthial. I kind of just, well, I'm gonna look up how to pronounce that. So that's pretty cool. How to say this thing. Google doesn't even know how to say it. Google does not even know how to say it. Oh, that's funny. That is good. That's great. I'll never know how to pronounce that. Yeah, Brian, I feel like that might be for a slight risk to an enhanced risk. I'm not convinced that they were talking about the upgrade to a moderate, unless they said a moderate risk is likely. I don't think they were talking about that. I mean, if we go down here, they say, let's see, where is it? I know it's one of these paragraphs. Additional thunderstorm development is anticipated further south Thursday, as the Pacific Front surges eastward. Highest storm coverage currently appears most likely in southwest Oklahoma into northwestern Texas. And initial development could produce large hail and very large hail. Large to very large hail before then transitioning into more of a linear mode. Some downstream severe threat into north central Texas and southwestern, or rather south central Oklahoma appears likely, although uncertainty remains regarding overall intensity. Yeah. Increased severe probabilities in later outlooks. Yeah, see, they're talking about going from slight to enhanced, Brian, so. A lot of people on Twitter misinterpreted that as well. You gotta read it. You gotta read it. Let's see here. Alright. There we go. Welcome, Mary. Glad to see you in the stream. So, yeah, what they were talking about in that discussion is upgrading this portion here to a enhanced, generally this area. Because as you know, we're expecting storms to fire here and then move off to the northeast, and we're unsure, the SPC is unsure if those storms are going to be severe enough to warrant the enhanced risk for severe weather or not. So we'll see. They'll probably expand that enhanced risk probably just west of OKC is what I would anticipate. And if anything, it's probably going to be for, man, what would it even be for? Because it's going to move into more of a linear mode. So the linear mode is going to deteriorate the tornado threat and the hail threat. And it might increase the wind threat a little bit, but due to the magnitude of the storms being probably close to sub-severe at that point, honestly, I'd be surprised if they do extend that enhanced, because the only thing I can think of is maybe wind. Maybe. But I mean, even that is far-fetched for that area. They might upgrade it for wind. They might upgrade it to a 30 sig wind, generally out in like this area here. I wouldn't be too surprised with that. Maybe a bit further west of what I just drew there. I wouldn't be surprised to see them upgrade, Wichita Falls, west of Oklahoma City, to an enhanced risk. But in regards to a moderate risk, I don't anticipate them to upgrade tomorrow to a moderate. But like I said, if we see more supercells fire, or if it looks like, the capping's not going to hold as long as anticipating, or if it's going to lift a bit sooner, or if the forcing is a bit stronger because the trough sped up a bit, if anything changes in regards to an uptrend, I would not be blown away to see a moderate risk for tornadoes tomorrow. And they'll probably, if they end up doing it, they'll most likely wait until the 4 p.m. update, because that's when we're going to get the most information. By the 4 p.m. update, we'll have those 18Z weather balloons up in the air, the 12Z weather balloons as well. We'll have the new model guidance, which isn't going to be all that useful, let's be honest. We'll be able to see more meso analysis as well. So if they do end up upgrading it to moderate, the best chance for that's going to be at the 4 p.m. advisory Eastern time tomorrow, which is 20Z. So we'll see. Friday looks mostly large to very large hail and damaging wind event. Oh, okay. I thought you said tornadoes. Yeah, so tornadoes will probably be a possibility out there in Kansas City for Friday, but like Brian said, it's probably going to be more of a large hail threat, wind threat, and brief tornado threats. Except for off to your north. I think off to your north, we could see an enhance for tornadoes. I would not be blown away, like I said. For like extreme, and I mean extreme, northwestern Missouri, eastern Nebraska, western Iowa for Friday. That's where I see the best chance for a risk upgrade on Friday. Anywhere else, and I would be questioning what the SPC is doing. I'd be questioning what they're looking at. I'm like, okay, I must be looking at wrong model runs here or something. Let's see here. I'm going to quickly check other models. Okay, that doesn't go out far enough. I'm just gonna see how many model runs show storms firing in the Panhandle tomorrow. I believe most models show it. I don't think there's a model now that doesn't show it. Like the HRRR was the one outlier that didn't show it, and now it does. So I think all of them show it now. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, I believe all the model runs show it now. Friday's going to be the most uncertain day right now, in my opinion. I think Friday's got the most uncertainty to it. Catman, I haven't gotten it yet. Nah. I'm still sticking to the old trusty College Due page. I will forever use that. Unless I get banned from it. But that's my favorite weather website. At least for severe weather. Oh! Be quiet for just a second. I'll just let this speak for itself here. Whilst I take a sip of water. Yeah. We had a special update from the National Hurricane Center to highlight an area of tropical development being a possibility. And you can see it's all highlighted in red. It's all got red to it, so it's a special tropical outlook right there. Which I'm not blown away with that. Me and Lucky discussed that in yesterday on call. I don't know if we said any. I think we did say it on stream yesterday. I'm pretty sure we called out that one as well as the one off the coastline of North Carolina. Didn't expect to see an advisory, but I mean we did call it out. And I mean it's a really good looking storm, like except for the convection, which we noted yesterday, either when me and Lucky were on call or in a live stream. I forgot which one it was. But I mean, it looks really, really, really spinny out there. It's spinning. There we go. Let's do the upper level, probably. Or should we do the lower level? Yeah, upper level. So there's so little convection that you can barely even see it. Matter of fact, for the first time in 2024, I'm actually going to turn on the hurricane overlays here. It's been so long that I forgot where it is. On. So yeah, there you go. I don't really see much of it on this particular site. It really doesn't look like anything here. Let's see. Why am I turning that stuff on? Yeah, so this honestly, this makes it looks horrific on this. Because it has like no convection at all. Let's load up a 250 loop frame and then we'll be able to see it a bit better. Bear with me whilst I load up this loop here. I was going to say frame. There's like a day frame here. So there's your little spinny thing. So there you go. Now you can see it. So there it is. Spinning. It has a lot of vorticity to it, but like I said, not a lot of convection. Not a lot of convection at all. Just a little spinny boy out there. But yeah, this is probably their only special advisory on it, because we're not expecting it to develop. They just wanted to highlight it just to let people know, hey, hurricane season's on the horizon. Which, I mean, we talked about this yesterday. We said, I was talking about having a hurricane preparedness plan ready to go. Because we're approaching hurricane season, and there's a good possibility we could see early hurricane development. Not necessarily hurricane development, but tropical development. just because of the statistics of what we've seen and what we are seeing right now. I would not be blown away to see a storm attempt to form in mid-May or early May. Which, I mean, here we are in late April, and we've got one attempting to form. I don't think it's going to be that good of an attempt, but, I mean, it's attempting. So, we'll just, we'll keep an eye on it. If for some reason it becomes a tropical storm, we'll go live. We'll do an urgent live stream for it, if it happens to become a tropical storm tomorrow morning. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Imagine they found like tropical force winds in that little blob of convection. That'd be insane. But actually, let's get a broad view of the U.S. right now. Actually, we'll get it in the Eastern Pacific. Oh, we're gonna have to do the entire Pacific, actually. What, Northeast Pacific? There you go. So that way we can see our trough here. Man, the water vapor on this just does not depict well at all. Okay. We're going off to a better site. The satellite just is not good here. We'll do this view here. Alright, there you go. See how much better this looks? Spot the trough ejection. It's pretty easy to see. It is pretty easy to see. I can tell you that. Big old trough out here. Pretty sure that's our trough. Let me go check. Watch me be dead wrong. Let's see here. Yeah, that's our trough. Just had a check. Thank you for subscribing, Paul. Much appreciated. So we got that big old trough out there. And that's going to traverse into the Rockies here. By tomorrow afternoon, and then it will exit the Rockies tomorrow night and cause significant severe weather. So it's going to be a doozy. It is going to be a doozy. Big risks for severe weather coming up here. I wonder, does this have the day 2 SPC outlook, or does it only have the day 1? Right, let's go to the regional. Let's go to here. Ah, it only has... Oh, no, it does have the day 2 outlook. There's your day 2 tour probs. Look at that. So that's what's going to be our issue for tomorrow. So you've got that big trough out west there. And I don't think you can do this for the full regional view here. Yeah, so you can actually do it for a pretty large area, though. Like this, I think I did it. Yeah. Yeah. Still learning this site. There's a lot of stuff you could still learn on this website. This is College Due page here. And yeah, you've got your big trough out here. Slightly off the screen there, but it's definitely there. And that's probably, I imagine, your subtropical jet stream out there in the Pacific Ocean. I imagine that's, yeah. You got some Pacific moisture going up northeastward like that. So there's definitely a really good severe potential tomorrow. It's just the matter of where storms fire, rather. I want to see the progression of this. Let's go global. Let's go global, and let's do a whopping 200 frames. Yep, so there's our spinny boy. You can see when that moisture in the subtropical jet stream meets up with the trough, right? Literally, like, over the last couple hours, it's met up with it. So, there you go. We're having a bit of a severe weather potential out in front of this low pressure out for the fishes. So if you know any fish out there, let them know to be weather aware. There's another spinny boy out there. So yeah, we've got low pressure up here and a low pressure right out there. or somewhere out there. Somewhere out there in that trough, there's a low pressure. Let's see here. Main low pressure, though, won't form until tomorrow afternoon. So we'll just continue to monitor the threat for severe weather, y'all. Definitely a big risk for sure. So make sure y'all are hyper weather aware. Next time I'll see y'all will be tomorrow for our live weather coverage. We will have Connor out and about out there. Let's see. See if I can get an update. You know, we'll just go to his channel to see. He's going at 5:30. 5:30 is when Connor will be live. And I imagine he's going to continue eastward too. He'll be all over the place. Bro's probably going to go from Oklahoma to Iowa, back down to Missouri, and then back to Texas, and then back up to Western Illinois, and then probably down to Louisiana. And then after that, there seems to be a big break in severe weather activity once again. But we know what happens once it gets quiet. Something big's brewing. It was quiet for like the last 5 days here in the U.S. And as a result, a big trough's going to swing through. It gives it a lot of time for storms to, rather for the environment to recover and for severe weather to become another possibility. My word, I can't English. My brain's not braining today. Let's see here. So we'll continue to do these streams, of course. I'm thinking about doing a short tonight, but I don't know. I'll do an update short tomorrow. Tomorrow around lunchtime, probably. So I'll probably have a short out tomorrow at like, I don't know. Geez, I have no clue. Probably after the day one update. Probably at like 1 o'clock or so, just before 1 o'clock. Maybe I'll have a short out. We'll see. Just to give y'all a quick briefing on the severe threat. So let me switch this back on over. All right. We're probably going to push this stream to 2 hours today. So this will be a 2-hour stream today. So if you guys have any questions on the severe threat or, anything regarding weather, you guys can definitely go right ahead and ask away. I'll try to answer any questions. I'm not going to be doing any zip codes, though, or personal forecasts. I can at least let you know if you're going to see severe weather or not, but I'm not going to get down to the nitty-gritty like I normally do because models are just so all over the place that predictability is not fun. It's not fun. Let's see here. Let me see the ensemble wind speeds real quick. Yeah, so it looks like we're hopefully going to be inactive for the first portion of May. We might be inactive. I don't see anything big there brewing. Our next best shot for severe weather will probably be, if it manages to even occur, probably in right around like May, somewhere between the time frame of just after May 5th. But yeah, we'll see. And make sure you guys hit that like button as well. We're 10 likes away from 100, which was the goal for this live stream. We hit that goal yesterday. Pretty sure we hit that goal of 100 likes yesterday. Yeah, we did. So we'll see if we can pass that. We got to get to 103 likes today to pass yesterday's live stream. So right now we're not seeing any severe storms forming in that slight risk area. Go to today's outlook here. We've got that slight risk for severe weather in effect out here. I don't think we're going to see much. It's really going to be all about if one storm fires. That's literally what it's going to come down to, is if we see a whole entire one storm fire or not, just around the time frame of like I said, about 10 p.m. or so. So give it another 2.5, maybe 3 hours here, and we'll see if we end up with our severe weather threat today or not. But definitely a ridiculous severe upcoming stretch for severe weather. So make sure you guys are hyper weather aware if you're in any of these shaded areas over all the days here. Just go to the SPC Outlook. Just literally you could type into any search bar. Just look up NWS Day 1. And that'll bring you to the Day 1 Outlook. And you can look at the Day 1 or any other days for severe weather. And there is College Due page. We are attempting to rerun the 18Z HRRR sector due to the server's downtime for maintenance. It failed to complete. We apologize for the inconvenience. So they are trying to rerun the 18Z. Glad to see that's not just on my side. Let's see. Quickly checking something. All right. I don't. Lucky's not here. Lucky's disappeared. Let's see. Oh my goodness. One of my Twitter posts went ham. Dang, sucker's approaching 300 likes. Dude. It's wild. That's where I post everything. When I'm inactive here on YouTube, that's where everything goes. That's where all my weather thoughts goes, on Twitter. So if you guys want to follow me on over there, it's TRG Tornado. Same as across all my social media platforms that I have, which is mainly this YouTube channel. And then, of course, we have the Discord server, first link in the description, Twitter, and occasionally TikTok, but I'm not that active on TikTok at all. So main platforms is this one and Discord and Twitter. Those are the three of them. So yeah, we'll just continue to watch these models, y'all. There's not much more to talk about, so we're gonna start winding down here shortly. We'll call it quits in about another half hour, so we still have a little longer to go. And they're rerunning the 18Z, yay! We'll see if that works or not. We shall see. Oh, we also have a general thunderstorm risk up here in the northeast today. Pretty sure that risk is already over, though. And then we have this ridiculous Category 5 hurricane out here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm shocked I haven't seen anybody say that anywhere. Typically when the first area of tropical development is highlighted by the National Hurricane Center, People will be like, hurricane imminent, or big hurricane about to occur for the U.S., or some stuff like that. That's normally what I see all over YouTube, but I haven't seen it. Maybe the community is getting a bit better. Yeah, I do mass unfollows on Twitter all the time. I just unfollowed like 20 people yesterday, so if I don't follow you, oops. Let's see here. So we'll continue to well, I don't have much more to say here. We'll just continue to monitor the severe threat here. Typically, that's why these briefings are 1 hour, because there's only so much you could talk about. There's only so much information you have, and we've gone over all of that. So, yeah, we're just gonna extend the stream a bit longer, though. Mainly because of the fact that I missed my ending time, but we won't talk about that. I was too distracted by satellite imagery. I'm waiting for this HRRR to update it all. It's still stuck at 14 frames here. The 00Z model runs tonight aren't going to be that big, really. The main reason for, well, I should say, the main thing to look for on the upcoming 00Z HRRR is probably going to be the low pressure system over Nebraska and Iowa for Friday morning. See if anything convects along that area. But other than that, there's not going to be a whole lot of new things we see tonight. We might get a few frames. Nope, not even the NAM 3K. Yeah. There's really not going to be too much new information tonight. So I'll still watch them all roll in, as I always do. I watch all of them all the time. I watch nearly every 00Z HRRR render in, unless it's not a severe threat, but yeah, then we don't count those. So if there's a severe threat, I watch the 00Z render in. Let's see here. So we'll continue to, let's see. I want to quickly check this. I want to read this special outlook from the National Hurricane Center. I just pulled it up and I was like, you know what? I haven't read this at all, so I want to just quickly read that. An area of low pressure located about 900 miles northwest of the Verde Islands has been producing small but persistent areas of showers and thunderstorms to the eastern side of the center since this morning. However, the low is forecasted to move southward at 10 to 15 miles per hour into an area of stronger upper level winds tonight and tomorrow. No additional development is expected. Additional special tropical weather outlooks are not anticipated. Let's see. Regular scheduled tropical weather outlooks will resume on May 15th, 2024, and special tropical weather outlooks will be issued as necessary during the remainder of the off-season. 10% chance for tropical formation out of that system. Well, I read it, how I summarize it, Pez. That's my job. I'm not here to throw all these fancy terms that, even I won't even understand all around. Let's see here. Monday. Moderate instability. You say. How much instability does GFS have? Monday. That's definitely quite moderate. 3,500 cape. Wow. Pez, it legit can't. Oh, I forgot. You're not a weather enthusiast. You don't know. You don't know about hurricanes yet. You haven't gotten into that much of an advanced field. Like, literally, look at what this thing is up against. Look at this. The only reason why it's somewhat tropical now is because it's not in that flow. But later tonight, yep, gone. And then tomorrow morning, I mean, this thing's just going to be up against a massive belt of wind shear. So it's just going to get sheared apart on the upper levels. Basically, it's going to try to grow upscale, and then it's just going to get pancaked. It's just going to get pancaked. And not only that, it's in a very dry atmosphere as well. Again, moves into that, and it's going to be gone by tomorrow morning. And then I guess we can also take a look at least to get an idea of the vorticity here. I mean, yeah, you can see, yeah, I mean, look at that. It had some decent vorticity earlier today, and then going into tomorrow, it loses that fast. It spins back up, and it actually goes right on up into this low pressure system, which is from our severe weather event, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's going to be a trough that digs down from the northwest. Is it? Which trough is that? I don't even know where that thing comes from. I think it comes from the northwest, yep, and then digs into the central Atlantic. Whoa. Well, hold on a second. What is that? What is that? That is an extratropical cyclone right there. But that's a pretty interesting one there, GFS. What are we throwing out over here? The main thing that we're going to be watching for here is the Bermuda High to set up. Which you can already see it's not really that present. I mean, it's really far east. We're really going to have to wait until that pushes more to the west and we see a more well-defined Bermuda High. Like, this is a good Bermuda High here. So we're going to have to wait until it gets a bit better for us to really start talking about tropics. But, I mean, you can see you got a little something with that one. And then the GFS just spits out a hurricane for some reason. But it wouldn't actually be a hurricane. It'd be considered an extratropical system. Or extratropical cyclone. Let's see. No, I don't want a sounding. Let's go over here. There's your La Nina. Still trying to peek through. It's still going to be delayed for a while, to be honest. But it's going to happen eventually. I want to look at the surface. Not exactly what I wanted to look at here. So let's just click back here. Go to our ocean analysis. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to look at our tropical Atlantic. No, so it's hot. Got it. Yeah, hot. I got it. Not an issue for tropical development. Now, what about the Western Atlantic? Jeez. Those temps already cooking. Anything 28 and above is really, really good. So this is cold. This is some cold waters right here. This is some sauna waters out here. And this is some what can we volcano waters out here. Lava waters out there. 31 Celsius is hot. That is hot. This only goes to 32 Celsius, so that's almost maxed out. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna switch this to the... Let's see, what should we loop? We're gonna loop the HRRR for our outro here shortly. We don't typically loop the HRRR's composite, but we'll do that, considering it's interesting enough. Welcome back, Brooklyn. Glad to see you back in here. And Caleb too. Man, Caleb, you ate really quick. Let's see. Quickly just checking this, y'all. Give me just a moment. All right. There we go. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this upcoming threat. Like I said, our next live stream is going to be tomorrow around the time frame of 4 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll see. We'll see when we go live. It'll be sometime tomorrow. Well, Caleb, I'm definitely going to end because there's not much to talk about. So the next 10 minutes are going to be quite quiet. Why did I have to be recommended? Man, that's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of people comparing this to April 27th, honestly, 2011. We see it's actually not that uncommon. One of the more threats that this looks like is the significant tornado outbreak on April 27th, 1991. I believe the Amory, or what was it? Oh, what? It's not the Amory one. My word, let me look it up. Andover. I knew it was an A. The Andover F5 tornado. So, yeah, I've pulled actually a few soundings that have had that analog on them. So, I mean, it's something. It is definitely something for sure. And just to show you the comparison, so this one, or the outbreak that I pulled analogs for is actually, we had 55 tornadoes. Gracious Day, 25, 20, 30 of which were significant, one being an F5 tornado. So, I mean, that was an absolute ridiculous tornado as well. And there are actually a few similarities between those two dates. I don't really have any solid analysis from that from that long ago. But I mean, it's similar. Let's see here. Natural weather service in Cleveland. Yeah, there's a lot of freeze warnings as well. I guess we'll look at those. The bats aren't coming out just yet, I don't think. Or we didn't stream late enough for the bats to fly out for us. Would that be a non-precip? Where would that be? Or winter? Let's just pull up the SPC. Let's see. Here you go. We already mentioned some of those freeze warnings and freeze advisories. They're out there in that blue. So we got the red flag warnings up here and down here. Freeze warnings and advisories out here. And then winter storm watches out there in southwestern Montana. So quite a few stuff, quite a decent amount of stuff that's going to happen tomorrow as well. There's already a few advisories out right now, as you can see here. Most of that, though, is for freeze and stuff and fire, not for severe weather. So, yeah. Alrighty. I'm going to start closing out some of these tabs here, because we're going to start wrapping up shortly. There's no active severe warning still. Let me check the... see here. I want to check the whatchamacallit thingamabobber. Thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. My apologies, I've been quiet. Welcome to the channel. Typically, I'm not this quiet. We've really already finished our briefing. Our briefings are typically an hour, and we're extending this one to 2 hours just because it's the day before a big outbreak potential. So, let's see here. Where's the thingy-mabobber? There's the HRRR. And I want to go to the 22Z. And I want to zoom into this state called Texas. And I want to see if it lets me choose my reflectivity. Oh, doesn't have any storms firing still. Still doesn't have any storms firing. Wow. Interesting. We will, we'll see if the HRRR changes its mind. Three more likes till we hit today's like goal. And I'm pretty sure we just hit today's subscriber goal. I'm pretty sure that last person who subscribed made us hit our subscriber goal. Yep, 5,050. We are already 50 subscribers over 5,000. That is crazy. Tomorrow's gonna be a doozy for me. I'm gonna have to brace myself for a good solid 5-hour coverage stream. Because it could be a long one. It's either gonna be a short one or a very long live stream. They typically go one of two ways. Either we're live for multiple hours on end, or we're live for 2 hours and the risk underperforms. We'll see which one happens tomorrow. Now, weather's always interesting. That's why I love to track it. Yeah, we're gonna do one of the older outros here. This is for some of the more OG subscribers here. Typically, when we used to end our live streams, we would do this. We would do our composite reflectivity tilted like this, looping on the HRRR. That's how we used to do our outros. When is the next gaming stream? Because you're never busy. Right now, it shouldn't be that far away, honestly. Let me quickly go check what Will said today. Let's see. Because I'm pretty sure we're getting some Twister leaks here. There's been a lot of new information on Twister. I don't want to spoil anything. I've seen a few things, but I don't like to spoil stuff for myself either, so I know a few things, but I don't want to go looking at everything. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call this stream quits here. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to start wrapping this up shortly. Before I do that, let me just go ahead and see. Thank you to our mods for joining in and mod in the chat, Catman, Brooklyn. I guess Lucky. I don't know if he ever chatted. And did Legacy not tune in today? I wonder where she is. Did anyone see Legacy in the stream? I don't think she was here today. Honestly, it's pretty rare to see a Legacy miss a stream. Hopefully she's doing alright. And, yeah, thank you to all of our mods. Even if y'all didn't mod the chat or didn't tune in, it's still grateful for all you guys who mod the chat. And, of course, everybody who tuned in as well. Even if you didn't subscribe or like the stream or anything, you know, even if you just clicked in for a second, it's greatly appreciated that you tuned in. And, yeah, I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream, which will be about 4, like I said, about 4 p.m. is what I'm planning for. It's probably going to shift around. It could be as late as 7 o'clock. It could be as early as 3 p.m. I don't think we'll go live any later than 7 o'clock. If we're not live by 7 o'clock, something's wrong. Something's wrong, man. Something's wrong. because that means that nothing's playing out. So I'll see y'all in tomorrow's live stream for that most likely multi-hour coverage stream. And yeah, now I just wait for 3 minutes until I can finally go to the, actually we'll go to the ending screen here in 2.5 minutes. I'll see you tomorrow, Brooklyn. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. What do I use to make my thumbnails? I use Pixlr, Photoshop. And I'm thinking about switching the coverage thumbnails around. So for those of you who watched my last 2 videos, you'll notice the thumbnail was changed to a different format. The color coordination for that was actually yellow, orange, red, and pink. These live stream ones are typically purple. Oh my word, what is it? Pink, purple, blue, and what's red? So I'm thinking about changing that color coordination around for the live streams, just because it's you know, it's weird having that color scheme. So I might change those around. I think it will look cleaner on the thumbnails. So we'll see. We'll see if I end up doing that or not. Let me quickly check this. When is the Lucky Games going live? He's not doing a gaming stream, but I want to see when he goes live tonight. He might, honestly, he might do a gaming stream tonight. I'll see. See what he says. Alright, you get 8. Dang, bruh. Alright, well, I'll just see y'all over there on Lucky's stream. If y'all want to join, just look up Lucky's weather. I'll see y'all over there. Hopefully most of y'all are already subscribed to his channel, so yeah, but make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel here. It's greatly appreciated. Make sure y'all have already hit that like button. Hit your like button on the way out, and share the channel with your family, friends, social media. This stream's concluded, but there's going to be another one tomorrow, so yeah, that is going to be it. I'll probably be chatting on Lucky's live stream, most likely. And let me go ahead and switch on over to the outro screen here. So there we go. All right, let's zoom this in properly, shall we? Let's zoom this in like this. Tilt it a bit sideways, just like, let's see, like that. Is that good enough? I think that's good enough. Look, the U.S. is sideways. Well, Caleb, you've had plenty of time to put that question in. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start the outro music here in 1 minute. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Like I said, right around 4 p.m. Eastern. Have a great rest of y'all's day. And, or I should say day and or night. Depends on where you are. If you're in the central time zone, it's still clearly day. East Coast starting to get dark out here. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go right ahead and end the stream here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Just got to blabber on for 30 more seconds, and then we are good to start the music. That's literally what I've been doing for the last 5 minutes. Y'all have definitely noticed that. If you're just tuning in, we're ending the stream. Go ahead and rewatch it if you want to. It's up to you. Or you could just watch the video that I uploaded yesterday. I prefer that you watch the live stream over. We talked about it. Yeah, you know, the severe threat. Really, the first 10 minutes is the majority of that severe threat. Everything else, we just went over the models and everything. So, yeah, I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream around the realms of 4 p.m. Eastern. It could be anywhere between 3 and 7 p.m. Have a great night. Goodbye. Stay safe. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye.